Hey everyone, how y'all doing and welcome to the Hisui Cup. So the Hisui Cup is going to begin tomorrow and it's going to run alongside the Ultra League. Which one are you going to be playing? So when it comes to the Hisui Cup, Pokemon from the Sinnoh region as well as Hisui are eligible. So if they're not from that either of those regions, they're not going to be eligible for this meta. And we've had this before, but of course it was a different meta in the past, right? Because we had different Pokemon, different move buffs and everything like that. Not different Pokemon, but move changes since we had this meta. I know Bastiodon was huge. Toxicroak and Frostlass were huge in the past. I don't think they're going to really see a whole lot of play this time around. But anyway, we'll talk about it. How you all doing today? Hopefully you all having a fantastic day. I know I haven't really been uploading a whole lot, at least when it comes to Go Battle League. I don't know what to say. I have other responsibilities, other things to take care of, so it's a little bit more difficult to get that done. And plus, I kind of needed a break. I was feeling burnt out as well, but I still like making the meta guides at least, so we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So for the S-Ray, Drapion, or Shadow Drapion, always going to be fantastic. Crunch was nerfed this season, but honestly, even if it went to like 10% chance to debuff, I still think it would be good. It's just so spammy, right? So, Drapion, they could nerf it. They probably will nerf Crunch again next season, but I feel like they have to go after the damage for Crunch or Poison Sting. I mean, because like, at the end of the day, it's just so good, and that's great. Obviously, Drapion is fantastic. And then we have Dusknoir. Dusknoir is going to be good for this meta. It does have a lot of dark Pokemon it kind of has to watch out for. Obviously, Astonish being resisted, and then it's also weak to dark attacks. So it does have that going against it, but I still think it's going to be fantastic. Obviously, Astonish is a powerful move, and it gets to the Shadow Punch as well as the Dynamic Punch pretty quick. Gastrodon's going to be fantastic with all the poison types, poison dark types in this meta, right? Drapion, Hisuian Quillfish, and Overquill, as well as other Pokemon that we might see. Going to be fantastic. There are some flyers Gastrodon hates to see, but if it gets aligned against the poison types like Drapion, and Drapion is going to be super common, I think Gastrodon will do just fine. And Gastrodon I think is also going to be really common. Those two are probably going to be the most common Pokemon, I think. Okay, and then we have Spiritomb. Spiritomb, of course, receiving that Rock Tomb, as well as a Sucker Punch. So fantastic Pokemon all around. It is pretty glassy, and obviously the Sucker Punch is going to be resisted by Dark Pokemon, but the Rock Tomb debuffing is incredible, and I think Spiritomb will see some play, which, love to see it. Love a good Spiritomb. I actually don't have a good IV1, but I love Spiritomb in general. I love this Pokemon. I remember it back in the day, battling it in Diamond and Pearl against Cynthia. At that point, it had no weaknesses. Obviously, we've been introduced to Fairy types, but that didn't exist back then. Then we have Quillfish, Hisuian Quillfish, as well as the Overquill. Now, these Pokemon were introduced in Hisui, so they are going to be eligible. They both have Poison Sting. Gets to the Aqua Tail really fast, both of them. And yeah, just going to be a pretty spammy, pretty safe Pokemon. Same as Drapion, a good safe swap. Because if you get a head-on energy with them, even if your opponent responds with something like a Gastrodon, Gastrodon will do well. But you'll still be able to get ahead on energy and get to the moves. That's why those Pokemon with the Poison Sting are going to be fantastic in the spammy moves. We have Gliscor. Gliscor does have Fury Cutter. Of course, it has Sand Attack as well, but you do want the Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter is just so good, and I think Gliscor will actually really make a good impact in this meta. Just such a fantastic move. Receiving that buff this season, right? And it has Aerial Ace. If it goes up against, like, Abomasnow, which it hates Abomasnow because it is double weak to it, but at least you got the Fury Cutter and the Aerial Ace. You can do something to Abomasnow, even though you hate the double super effective damage, right? So at least it has a little bit of coverage. We're talking about Overquill. Gallade, I think, is going to be good, just because, or Shadow Gallade, probably the Shadow one. It has the heavy hitting close combat, as well as Leaf Blade, and if it's a safe swap, it's going to get to the moves fast, so it's going to be good at getting shields. It will go down fast, but it will be good at getting the shields or doing a tremendous amount of damage. For the Evank, we have Vespiquen. Oh my gosh, holy smokes. I wasn't even considering Vespiquen when I was writing this, but I'm not writing it when I was making the list. But no, Vespiquen has Fury Cutter, so it also has like X's and Power Gem. I think that's the moveset. So it has a really good moveset, so it's going to be fun to see Vespiquen. I've never used a Vespiquen, at least not that I remember. And if I did, it was a long time ago. I don't know. I may have shoutcasted Vespiquen in the past, but again, it was before Fury Cutter, obviously. Fantastic to see it. Love to see it. I think this Pokemon will be pretty good in this meta. And then we have Mamoswine. Mamoswine has Mud Slap. It also has Powder Snow. So it really depends on your team and which move you want to go with. Obviously, both moves are good. It has an Icicle Spear that it recently got, which is pretty spammy. So I think Mamoswine could see some usage in the Hisui Cup, which is really nice because usually you see Mamoswine in the Master Premier. Maybe once in a while. You don't even see it too often. But now seeing it in the Great League meta is actually really cool. Drifblim, I do think will be pretty good with the powerful Astonish damage. Yeah, just have to watch out, obviously, for all the Dark types, resisting Astonish, plus doing super effective damage. But, you know, if you could avoid those matchups, I think Drifblim will be pretty good. And then we have Abomasnow getting to the Weather Ball pretty fast, or the Icy Wind. Like, my rule of thumb is generally if I'm running a non-shadow, I do like going for the Icy Wind for the debuff. It does take a little bit more energy, but with the shadow, you just want to get to the Weather Ball so fast, just doing the extra damage. So that's generally the moveset I like, depending on if I'm running shadow or non-shadow. And obviously Energy Ball. Sneasler with the Shadow Claw, going to be a pretty interesting pick this meta. It is pretty glassy, but you know, it does get to the heavy hitting. I think it has a close combat, right? So can get to the move pretty fast. Yeah, pretty good Pokemon. We have Hippopotas as well as Hippowdon, interestingly enough. Now, Hippopotas, I was actually looking it over. It has, both of them have Sand Attack, but Hippopotas has Rock Tomb, and obviously we know how good Rock Tomb is this season. It has to be XL'd. This Pokemon has been around for a while. You might have enough XLs. I actually didn't even check my game, so I don't know if I do. I probably do, you know, to be honest. So that's really good. I mean, obviously, Rock Tomb is a fantastic move, and of course, we've seen Powdon before with the Rock Weather Ball. And so, yeah, I mean, both of these, you could run a double ground backline with both of them if you really want to. I think that could be a lot of fun, and then cover for the weaknesses that they might have, right? Obviously, they're both weak to ice, but yeah, it could be really interesting there. The B rank, we have Electivire. Electivire is super spammy with the Thunder Shock, Ice Punch, Wild Charge combination. I mean, it has to watch out. I mean, obviously, the big weakness is going to be Mud Slap users like the Gastrodon, which is going to be the most common Mud Slap user, but still pretty spammy there. And then Hisui and Samurott actually has Fury Cutter. Now, this one is a kind of, well, it's not really tricky to get. You had to have done the raid day and then trade it with another person, and then it could go below 1500 CP. I actually checked my account before making this video, and I do have one. I actually remember getting it, and I think it literally lands at 1498. So you might have it, you might not. Is there another way to get it? Like, did they give this out of a tour pass where you could get it? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. But I know I traded for it during the time it had the raid day, which is pretty cool. I just wanted, just in case, obviously now it has a Fury Cutter and it also has Icy Wind, so pretty good Pokemon. Togekiss as a Charm user, I think, I mean, there's not many things that are resisting it. Charm, right? If anything at all. I mean, there's some things. I see the Empoleon on the screen, but, like, the Poison Pokemon might do okay against it, but they're also Dark, too, so, like, they're not resisting Charm, right? So, yeah, I mean, if you're running a Charm user, I think this could be okay, but, like, you also have to watch out for Ice because it is part Flying. Then we have Lickilicky with Rollout. Lickilicky, ever since the Rollout nerf, kind of took a hit, right? I mean, not kind of, it did. Plus, Blastoise shined. Obviously, Blastoise not eligible for the Hisui Cup, but, you know, Blastoise just, like, a better rollout user. But no, Lickilicky, as well as Babal, could both of them see play? I think they could, and I think they will. We have Empoleon. Empoleon could have Metaclaw. It could also have Steel Wing. And, yeah, I mean, I think Empoleon could do pretty well. It just, you know, obviously weak to that Gastrodon. Yeah, there's a lot of things weak to Gastrodon. So that's why I do think Gastrodon will see a lot of play. But at the same time, there's also a lot of flying types. But Empoleon, I think, will see some play. It did see some play during the original Hisui Cup, but that's when it was running Waterfall. I don't anticipate Waterfall. We might see it once in a while. You never know, but I don't know. I think Metaclaw might be the way to go. Viperia is another Mud Slap user. Cool that it might see some play, right? If you're doing a double Mud Slap team, you could do Viperia and Gastrodon, or even the Mamoswine and Gastrodon. So the Mud Slap, pretty cool there. And then, of course, Babel, as we talked about. Other options, Bang Zong with the Metal Sound. Metal Sound did receive a buff. Not the greatest move. It's not bad. I don't think this will see a whole lot of play. It has Payback and Psyshock. Psyshock is a really good move. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Toxic Croak was a huge one in the original Hisui / Sinnoh Cup because they had the Sinnoh Cup as well. That just didn't include Hisui Pokemon. This one includes both, right? But, you know, back then Counter wasn't nerfed. Ever since the Counter nerf, it did hurt it. It does have Poison Jab, though, so which is a good move. We might see this a little bit. I just don't see... I don't think we'll see it too often. Wormadam, of course, was used in the past as well with Confusion, but it also has Bug Bite, which is obviously a fantastic move. Now, Heatran is difficult to get in the Great League for the regular one. The Shadow one, though, is a different story. The Shadow one is going to be in the Great League, so I don't have a regular one, but I do have a Shadow one. Palkia, an interesting Pokemon with Dragon Breath. Again, it has to be Shadow. Same with Dialga. We see them both in the list. Bastiodon, I don't think we'll see a lot of players, a lot of answers to it, but still, pretty cool Pokemon. I don't know why I said pretty cool Pokemon. I mean, I don't think it's going to see much play. It has some things that it will do well against, like the Abomasnow, but I don't think it's going to see a lot of play. Frostlass did see a lot of play during the original one. I think it's... I still think I'll see some play here. It definitely has play, for sure. Maybe you could have bumped this up to the B rank. I think Frostlass will see some play. Pachirisu, I don't know, as an electric type, you know, it's bulky, but I don't think I'll see a whole lot of play. Maybe a little bit. And then I don't have a Hondo Pachirisu, by the way. Drifloom, similar to, well, I mean, it has, that's similar to Drifloom. It has Hex, Icy Wind, Fury Cutter, Kricketune, and then another Dragon Breath user. It has to be a Shadow Dialga, of course. We can't get the regular one. Skunk Tank, I don't think Skunk Tank will see much play. I think the other poison types are just faster and better. Solid team options. We have the first team, Triple Fury Cutter. So, I think this could be a good team. Obviously, we do have some Pokemon in the meta that do resist Fury Cutter, like Drifblim. And of course, the backline does not appreciate Ice, so that might be a little bit tricky. But you still get to your moves really fast, your charge attacks, and Drifblim is a frail Pokemon. If you don't want to go triple Fury Cutter, you could do like double Fury Cutter. Maybe remove one of the Gliscor or the Vespiquen, put the Samu out there, and have a different lead to answer like Drifblim or the Fury Cutter answers. But I like the idea of triple Fury Cutter. Next up, we have Lickilicky in the lead with Drapion. I think Drapion or Shadow Drapion is a great safe swap, and then Gastrodon is always going to be fantastic. And then we have Hisuian Coolfish and Overquill with Abomasnow in the lead. The backline will hate the Mudslap users, but Abomasnow will appreciate them, right? You know. And then next up, we have Abomasnow with double Mudslap. So the double Mudslap team going to do really well against like, you know, the Dark Poison types. You know, if you're the Mamoswine, you can run Powder Snow instead if you want to on this team. But then you are ABA Ice. You are ABA weak to fighting, but I don't really see many fighting type users. Like, you have, like, Close Combat from, like, Gallade and stuff. But Close Combat's going to hit like a truck anyway. But you're not going to have, like, Counter from Toxic Croak, I don't think. Or any fast moves like that. But, yeah, so that's that team. So it is ABA Ice. And then we have Drifblim with Gallade and Shadow Drapion. I think both of them in the back make a good safe swap. If you safe swap Gallade, it does get to the move super fast, right? And then the final team is going to be Dusknoir with Babel and Gastrodon. So Babel beat the safe swap double water in the back. And yeah, we'll see how this team works. I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to this meta, I'm going to be honest. So this one, I'm going to be starting with. I also like the Ultra League, so I might go back. Let me know what team you like. Let me know what team you plan on using and what meta you plan on playing in. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.